Hello again, my name is Anja and today I will continue my series about the alchemy of smudging. So what I picked today is the dragon's blood and the mistletoe. Yeah, those are two of my favorite ones as well. I know I say that with everyone, with every resin and herb, but these two are very magical, so this is why I picked them. So let's start with the dragon's blood. For me, personal, it's also the dragon's breath. So what is dragon blood? So dragon blood is a reddish brown natural resin from the rainforest plant Sangre de Grado. So the resin is rich in plant chemicals, like it has a lot, and that makes it very versatile. And also already the ancient Greeks and Romans highly valued dragon's blood, so therefore the resin was imported into the Mediterranean already about 2000 years ago, I think. So dragon blood came from the natives of the Amazon, Sangre de Drago. The sap is used in South America for a long time, so first written references we find that lead back to the year 1600. So the natural resin has a dark red to red-brown color and comes from the fruits of the dragon's blood palm. So the fruits are surrounded by scales, and between them the resin that emerges. So this is collected and cleaned for subsequent fusion into spheres or rods. So it owes its name's dragon blood also by the resins of the palm Diamonoropes Draco in Southeast Asia. So as well as a resin from the island Socotra in the Gulf of Aden. So there are various kinds, and these days you really have to watch that you really get clean dragon blood. So if you buy some cheap powder somewhere that is just red and it's cheap, you can be sure it's fake, because for the real dragon blood you pay a little more, and mostly you get the little rockish looking pieces of the resin, so that's what I mostly get, and then I'm sure it's real dragon blood, and I can tell the way it feels and smells by now, so you want to make sure that you don't buy, wannabe. So back then in the Middle Ages, well, back then dragon's blood was considered a very important commodity and was already mentioned in the writings of Gaius Plinius Secundus under the name dragon's blood. Like, people believed that this resin was real blood of dying dragons. So in antiquity, the resin of the Dracaena cinnabari, a species from the genus of dragon trees, Dracaena, which is said to have been native to the legendary land of Punt. So the origin of this species is the island of Socotra. So it's a newer part of Yemen. So in South America there are croton species, the spurge, so which also produces such a red juice. It's called by these I forgot the English word. Great, that was well done. Why, by the cultures living there. The quiche Kukachi, which means foaming fire tree, and it is also referred to as the dragon's blood. So like as a healing remedy, it's used against various things. It's used for diarrhea, for scurvy, and even respiratory diseases. And so if you want to smudge it, that helps. Other than that, it's the sap of the tree. So because it's good for anti-inflammations. It's very antiseptic for wound treatment. So. And also for dyeing agents, like if you want to color something. So you will find that out the hard way if you ever get that on your t-shirt or something. Like I make my own dragon's blood ink. And yeah, you don't get that out. So, but unfortunately, dragon's blood is no longer used in Western medicine, so. But that doesn't mean that it's cannot or should not be used, right? You hear me here, so. So, dragon's blood is one of those resins that focuses on the effect and of what you're doing. I'm getting into that in a bit. So, the smell itself, it's not really pleasant. So it's a little tarty, spicy, and woody when you smudge it by itself. So it unfolds a very hot and scratchy bouquet. So yeah, just giving you a heads up here. So with dragon's blood, the dragon's blood fumigation, it serves you as a protective cleaning and sacrificial smudging. It neutralizes strong negative energies and clarifies the atmosphere. So dragon blood incense should be used better in mixtures and small quantities, like I said, because because of the smell. But also you should be careful with the dosage of dragon's blood, which I'm getting into now. Because I said it focuses on the effect of what you're doing with it. So, but mostly the message of that resin fragrance is strength and courage. So, yeah, dragon's blood has a great power and dynamic. So, yeah. Even back then, they smudged it for rituals or magic formulas and incantations. So, and in the past, the melting of this resin was especially used as a protective and cleansing agent against negative energies or evil spirits or envies, like etc. Right? And it was very often used in exorcistic rituals as well. They won't tell you though. So the tribe of the Creech in Guatemala used the thickened blood red latex as an incense for sacrificial ceremonies. So to attuning the gods who would rather be intoxicated with the blood of sacrificed people, they kind of took that as an exchange, so they didn't have to, sacrifice as much. Yeah, also dragon's blood I associate with blood and fire, absolutely. So it has really tremendous power. So that's why use it with caution. The smoke that forms when burning that resin has an overall strengthening and promoting willpower and personality effect on the human mind. So and like I said, it neutralizes very negative energies, and you can use it very well for protective or cleansing rituals. So especially with the expulsion and the, you know, against, I don't like to call them evil. I rather like to call them negative, you know, spirits. So as well as demons, is it your own demons, or is it the created demons of others? You can use it for that. So yeah, so if you use it in a ritual, like, it doesn't matter what ritual, it doesn't have to be for cleansing negative energies, but if you use it in any mixture, it will ward off automatically negative forces or curses even. So yeah, generally, like I said, it gives you more strength, and it gives you more effectiveness and intensity, and it's supporting yeah, and like I said, reinforcing the properties used in your ingredients. So even in you know, love mixes, Dragon's Blood gives the whole a little pep in content. Yeah, like I mentioned already, mix it with other mixtures, like with other resins and herbs, and in low doses. And I prefer to, yeah, like I said, I prefer it in other mixtures and in small quantities alone, you know, but rather with other cleansing incense together. So you can use it, for example, with juniper, sage, frankincense, copal. It's unlimited, really, because like I said, it strengthens the effect, right, of whatever you smudge and whatever you do. So so the best way to measure is maybe if you just take a knife tip full of it, right? So you can be sure it's not too much. And again, be aware that the Dragon's Blood supports rituals, work, or magic, and strengthens the effect. I'm saying that now, I think the third or fourth time. So therefore, less is sometimes more. So it's, as with every other type of energy work, you want to be careful not to overcharge, because you are the one that has to control the energies you're setting free, right? And it doesn't matter if it's energy work or smudging. Even if you work with crystals, you need to be able to be in control of these energies you're dealing with. So also what you can do, you can add Dragon's Blood to your bathing water in small quantities. So in order to purify yourself of negative energies. So it's very nice as well. So, and it really supports your sacral chakra very well. So, and again, for me, it's fire pure, right? So it is for sure the Dragon's Breath. So have respect using it. I mean, not respect, yeah, respect too, but caution. So next I have the Misteltoe. So the Misteltoe, or called Viscum album, is a small evergreen shrub of the same name of the mistletoe family that belongs to the sandalwood family, Sandalaceae. So it also greens in the winter, and the flowers and fruits in the winter months. So it does not grow in the ground, but on trees. It's like a half parasite. It does not form roots, but a sinker with which it connects with the whole host tree. So it does not follow the sun, but it grows in all directions, regardless of light and gravity. So this is how the typical round mistletoe bush forms. So in this phenomena cannot be found in any other plant. And some of you might have seen mistletoes, right? Growing. They're really always round and fluffy, and it doesn't matter what time of the year. It's amazing. So and they grow on various trees as well, right? But the mistletoe growing on the oak tree, that was the most valuable plant for the Druids for their beneficial work. There are only a few plants that are as well known and famous in magic as the mistletoe. So in my opinion, only the mandrake equals the powers of the mistletoe, to be honest. It's very, very strong. So, I mean, who does not know the scenes from the Asterix comics, right? If you remember them, if some of you remember them, in which the druid Miraculix puts a sickle in the tree and cuts mistletoe for his potion. And these scenes are actually taken from historical traditions, so I don't know why I brought that in, I just popped up. So mistletoe was probably considered by the Celts to be the holiest of all plants and was accordingly worshipped. The Roman historian Pliny, I think, reports that the plant was harvested by the Celtic Druids, who were slipped into a white robe with a golden sickle on the summer solstice. With the white robes, I'm not sure, but I know the golden sickle had a ritual, had a meaning to do that. It had to be golden, and because it had to be pure to cut, those holy plants, right? And still these days, I would love to use a sickle, but I can't find one really. So, but this is actually the best to cut herbs or anything else if you want to do it the old tradition. So the branches, which were not allowed to fall to the ground at the harvest, were then put into a special potion, which is said to have fertilizing infertile, and which helps fertilize infertile animals, and to have cured poisoning as well. So mistletoe was also considered a sacred plant to the Germans and had an important meaning in their mythology. For example, the sun god Balder of the legend of Loki was killed with a mistletoe shaped to an arrow, and I talked about this little story back in my rune series. So in some regions it is still customary to hang mistletoe in the time of the winter solstice as jewelry on this doorstep, which is to prevent misfortune. So this is where this tradition is coming from. Also, kissing under a mistletoe it's said it brings happiness to the relationship of two lovers. So that's very cute. But this is where these traditions come from, actually, right? But I don't want to go into the historical here because that would go beyond the scoop here. So I would like to explain why I use the mistletoe for smudging. Don't smoke it, smudge it. So mistletoe does not have a strong scent really when you smudge it. It smells a little fresh, yeah, when you start, and later it becomes really pleasantly sweet, spicy. That's how I could explain it the best. Yeah, it's a really powerful magical incense. So above all, they're used to increase energy. So she has great powers of transformation. She helps you to find your strength in difficult situations, and she helps you to transform heavy energies into lighter ones. So yeah, and it supports shadow work very well and helps to bring light into the darkness of feelings and emotions, so you can look at your own shadows and dissolve, right? Since our soul comes to rest with it, with this smoke, when we smudge it, it gives us the opportunity to look inside, and we can make our own soul journey. So you know what I mean? It brings light to the darkness, so you can actually start focusing on certain points. So, and this way we will quickly realize what we want and what we prefer to leave, Because it does not do our soul good, right? Some things. So sometimes we do not notice that our soul suffers. We really don't, because we're so caught up in the daily routine and react only to external stimuli by now. You know what I mean? So this instance will totally accompany us to the roots of our soul and to gain inner retreat. And also, in addition, you can smudge the mistletoe to connect with the dream world and the interpretation, or to come in contact with the subconsciousness. It's really powerful. So same here. I mean, you can smudge it with a dragon's blood to, give it a little more pep, but be aware, it really works. But also in hectic times, the mistletoe makes sure that we stop again and gain new strength. So, if you're stuck, it brings back the flow, And while a mistletoe fume also distributes negative vibrations as well. So, it helps it to dissolve. Also if you do your little oracle work, it will help you to see. It supports rituals, and it supports in rituals our actions, because if we do a ritual, we have we do it with a purpose, with an attention, and therefore it supports the action in it. Also mistletoe is very good if you want to be on the threshold of the other world and the world of the now. So, and this incense, has long been used as a magical worker for the ancestral call. And it asks for protection from our own ancestors, because only ancestors from our own bloodline give us the protection we really need. So, and this is why I bring up our ancestors so often. So, that doesn't mean you have to know them or you knew them in this life, okay? That can go back very far, very, very far. But you know that. So also, when I talked about the benefits back then, about the health benefits, it's used for cancer treatment and homeopathy. So when you smudge it and you have issues like that, let the fumes connect you to the powerful spirit of this plant. So, I really love it. It's very strong. So if you add dragon's blood with it, or copal even, woof, and off you go. Okay, I hope you like that little information about these two. And next week I will be back. I am not too sure what I will talk about then. But as you know, I always make my mind up during the week. And I hope I see you all back next week. If you have any questions or, maybe interested in a mix or something, just let me know. Well, thank you so much for listening, and I see you all next week. And you all have a good night or a good day. Love you. Bye-bye.